moms and dads, I wanted to talk with you, and hopefully, if your kids are there, go ahead and get them. And I'll talk to all of you together. As you know, one of the things that we consider very important at school is conscious discipline. Now, I realize some of you are tuning into my channel because you've heard about it, and you don't have children at my school, and so go ahead and feel free to watch this video. It's got really good information. But for those of you that are in my class and at Mullendore, you know that conscious discipline is a big part of what we do. And while we're at home under these special circumstances, I just want to remind you that you can be practicing conscious discipline at home, okay? So you can practice your breathing. You know that we've learned star breathing, drain breathing, snake breathing, balloon breathing. Each one of you knows exactly how to do those. And you can teach your mom and dad or granny, grandpa, whoever's with you in your home. You can be a teacher and teach them those breathing techniques, okay? And so I'll talk more about that in just a minute. But the first thing I want to start with is our brain state, okay? We have 3 brain states. And what we do is we teach the children that this is the executive state. So when you make a fist like this represents your brain, and your brain is in its executive state. Now for kindergarten, executive, that's kind of a big word for them. And so I help break that down, and I do say executive state, but I help them understand that really what that means is that I'm happy, I'm good, I feel good, I'm able to make good choices, and I'm able to think clearly. So everything is good. When my brain's in its executive state, everything's good. However, we all know that things come along and we get a little upset, okay? We might not get a turn to answer a question or to play a game or something. Things just come along that just get us a little upset. And sometimes we go from an executive brain, a good brain, to we've flipped our lid. And that's how we tell the kids, we've flipped our lid. We just get a little upset. And when we flip our lid, that's where we just get that little bit of sadness and that little bit of, inside us. And we talk to the kids about when we feel that, that's when we want to start our breathing. So when you go from executive to flipped my lid because maybe I didn't get a turn on a game, I didn't get a turn answering a question, something just made me a little bit upset. That's when you might want to stop where you are and just take some deep breaths. Do a star breathing, a drain breathing, a snake breathing. Just do some quick breathings and just get yourself back under control and allow your brain, that lid, just to come back down to where you're in your executive state, okay? But sometimes in life, we know that other things happen that don't just flip our lid, but really get us upset, okay? For example, at school, it could be that somebody says they don't want to play with us and, or hits us or kicks us or something like that. And for some of us, we go straight from flipped our lid to we're out of control. And this is where our brain is in that flight or fight kind of situation. And we're out of control. And this would look like us crying, just really boo-hooing. I'm not just mad. I'm really upset. Okay, and I'm just out of control. I'm in my flight or fight. I don't know what to do. I can't think straight. When my brain is in this situation, the kids know that in our room, we have a safe place. It's not a timeout. It's just a safe place off to the side where they can sit. They can be by themselves a minute and calm down. Because what we want them to do is breathe, just to calm down by themselves, come back to flipped lid, and eventually come back down to their executive brain. I felt it was important to kind of talk to you parents about this and your kids with them too, and y'all together, so that you can talk about how you can be practicing this at home while we're under these special circumstances, because we know that these things don't just happen at school. I know that they happen at home as well. We can be walking around the house, we can be doing our normal things in our home, and we can have an executive brain where everything's going great. I feel good, I'm thinking good, I'm happy, I'm making the right choices. But I also know that things happen. For example, I can remember back to when I was a kid, and one of my brothers might have said something that upset me. Maybe for example, told me that one of my dollies was ugly or something, and I'd flip my lid because it hurt my feelings, because I didn't think my dollies were ugly, and it hurt my feelings that my brother would say that. So that I flipped my lid. Okay, and I would want to breathe and get my lid closed again. But I also know that sometimes at home, again, thinking back to when I was a kid, there were some times that I didn't always make the right choice. There were times that I might not have always been honest with my parents, and there maybe was a consequence that I didn't really enjoy. And it got me really upset, and my brain went from this to out of control. And there were tears, and just I wasn't thinking straight, and I just needed to be by myself and get myself together. And so I could come back to a flipped lid and then back to an executive state. So I know these things happen at home as well. And I want you to have the tools at home to be able to practice self-calming and self-regulation. Parents, practice it as well. It's not just for the kids. And the kids can tell you that there's times at school, and I'll be really honest, that I practice it. Now, I'm never out of control at school, but there are times that, things happen, and I'll tell them, I might need a minute to breathe, and I do some breathing. Just about every day we practice breathing, we take breaths, just because sometimes it's just good. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and that we do at school. And I know that can also be done at home. Sometimes we get into arguments, disagreements, whatever you want to call it, with other people. This also happens at home. Siblings get upset with each other. Parent and child gets upset with each other. You can come up with your own scenarios. When that happens, at school, we have a mat, and it's called the time machine mat. Your child knows about it. There's a good chance they've probably used it. And what they do is, if they're having an argument or a disagreement or something with a friend, they'll go talk to that friend. Let's go get the mat and work this out. And The two of them will go get the mat, lay it out. It's long rectangular mat. One on one end, one kid on the other end. They take 3 steps and meet in the middle. And that's when they use their words. I didn't like it when you cut in front of me in line. And the other person can then explain, well, I didn't mean to cut in line. I was putting my jacket away and I forgot where I was. And so, they're talking and they're working that out. The same thing can apply at home. When you're having a disagreement or something happens, you don't have to have a mat. The mat is just a mat. It's just a visual. There's no special magic in the mat. So boys and girls, something happens with a sibling or the parent, show them, teach them about this. Go get them and say, hey, can we work this out? You don't have to take the steps, face them. Use your words like we have taught you at school. When you say this, it makes me feel. When you did this, I felt. So use your words, talk to them. Okay, remember, people aren't mind readers. If you don't tell how you're feeling or how something that was said or done made you feel, people aren't going to know. So while we're at home under these special circumstances, I want you to keep using these skills that we've learned at home. At school. Keep using these. Use your words. Teach it to your family. They might need options and they might benefit from this. Okay? So, do your star breathing, your drain, your balloon, your pretzel. Breathe when you need to breathe. Keep your brain in its good executive state. And realize that it's okay. Sometimes your brain is going to flip its lid. You want to bring it back down. It's okay. Sometimes your brain is going to just freak out. Flight or fight. Find a place in your home. Talk to your parents. It's not a timeout place. It's just a safe place, a good place. You can go sit and calm yourself back down. And then try the time machine. Teach your family how to do that. And practice that. Use your words. All right. Till next time. Goodbye.